All right, welcome back for another episode of Toastland Podcast. Tonight we got Julian with us. We're going to ask him some questions, get to know him a little bit.
Yeah.
So today's
What's up, guys?
Monday. Yeah, say what's up to the world. They're listening.
It's Monday. I just decided to come over.
Whenever I do this, I always say, think of the one weirdo online who searches and gets in that rabbit hole on YouTube.
That's me, dude.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, tonight this is for you, guy. Whoever found us, this one's for you. What's up?
What's up, dude?
All right, let's kick this off. So, Julian, I asked you a little bit before we started, kind of giving you some ideas. What does it mean to be 20?
See what it means to be 20 to me.
Yeah. What does it mean to be a 20-year-old in 2019? What is it like? What's life like for you and your generation right now?
Let's see. Everybody who's 20 is seriously struggling. Everybody should pay more attention to those people because, the world is pretty fucked right now. Everyone needs the help they can get.
Are you a glass half full or half empty guy?
I'm a glass half full guy.
So you look on the bright side?
I do.
Do you, do you take people usually assume people, for the best? Like, people usually come with best intentions?
I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's what the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got one of those prejudgers?
I am a prejudger.
I judge a book by their cover. I mean,
yeah. I mean, like, if I can look at somebody and tell if they're a pedophile. I can look at somebody and tell if they've done drugs before. Like I just know, like, if someone's good or not, or if they're worth my time. Even if they've done something fucked up, I know.
You've been able to develop like a healthy sixth sense.
Yeah, like I know if somebody, I know if somebody's even killed someone.
Have you learned to trust? Have you learned to trust your gut?
Yeah, I just know how to trust my gut, I guess.
When you don't trust your gut, do you really? God damn it, I knew it.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh fuck, dude, I shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like a weird, like when you do fuck up, it's like a weird, oh dude, I just so totally knew that like this was gonna happen if I did this, and I was like, oh fuck. But you always learn from your mistakes. That's what I've kind of lived by, I guess.
So for our new friend out there in YouTube land who's listening, go ahead and let him know who you are musically. Band, music, instrument, role in the band.
Like I say, I play the bass in Toast. And I do my best to do it creatively. I'm not like typically like a bass player, I guess. Like most of the time I'm playing like at home, like guitar and writing my own music and
do you like the challenge that Toast has provided you musically?
Yeah, like I'm enjoying like trying to I guess I learned how to play bass doing that.
You're a bass player now.
Yeah, I'm definitely a bass player now. I wasn't before, so this is fun. And I really like the powerful, like, low sound of it a lot. Like, that's something I've always liked in music, so, like, it does, like, kind of suit me a bit.
Bass kind of, I always thought it would suit you well, but just
I always had a good rhythm. I was good at rhythm.
Yeah, you always had a tight rhythm, and then also the way you, I feel like out of the four of us, you always played like augmented creative chords, and so I felt like
I always try to do that.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, why not use your unique leads and your unique chord progressions and put that towards bass stuff? Like, it could help.
Yeah, I'm always trying to figure out like the right progressions and and good like unique rhythms too. Like I like to make it sound like unlike anything other people have recorded. I just want to make sure like we sound as original as fuck. Like that's totally what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people know that we're not copycats.
Yeah.
That we come up with our own sound and that we try to make it like, you know, at least bearable. At least bearable.
We only want to scare half the people away.
Yeah.
So, question 2. Where do you want to be and what do you want to have accomplished by the time you're 30? You got 10 years ahead of you right now. What do you want to get done?
Well, I'm hoping, like, I mean, the thing I focus on, honestly, most nowadays is just, like, doing stuff with the band. And it seems like we're able to, it actually seems like we might be able to do something worth our while. So, like, that's why I've been focusing on it so much compared to, you know, working at places and
so if Toast
exploring.
If Toast continues to be successful for the next decade, where would you want to see yourself musically, financially, family, emotionally? Would you want, you know, are you a family guy? Have you ever thought, I mean, you see yourself, you want kids?
Maybe if I like decide to calm down one day but like the thing is I always worry about like someone wanting to, you know, have too much control over my life, and I see that in everyone in relationships, and it worries me with people I care about, and it changes people for the worst, and some, like, pretty much most of the time that I've noticed. But
I can
like
relate to that. I mean, I know that, like, growing up, I didn't have the best examples or role models of healthy relationships.
Yeah, for example, like my father had like more than 30 girlfriends that I had to witness.
And, like, always meeting someone new.
Yeah, always meeting someone new and them always fighting. And police coming over and whatnot. Dude, that shit's real.
Yeah.
You know, people need to know that still happens to people.
Mm-hmm. All right, dude.
A lot of people don't have that happen.
You know, some people grow up very not necessarily posh, but just loved and sheltered and nurtured.
With just two parents.
Nurtured.
And I never did.
Yeah.
That's something that's fucked up to not grow up with. We apologize.
Excuse the interruption. We don't know who's calling.
Telemarketer, scammer,
Probably.
boy.
I swear to God, ever since we put stuff on, like, SoundCloud and like I get, like, random calls.
Random calls every
And then
day.
I'm constantly getting like friend requests from like Sikh Mahachme from like India. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, dude? Like, Rashnish wants to be your friend. Like, who the fuck are you, dude?
I don't know.
I don't click that stuff.
I always get random friend requests.
0 mutual friends? No, thank you.
Yeah, well, they have like 16 friends online too.
Dude, my favorite is always like when you get those like skank friend requests from those like hot chicks.
Yeah,
and
like on like and on Instagram it's like constant, and I'm like, dude,
the best.
why? And then like one time I was just curious like what I would say, and they just like sent me a link to their online like live like porn room, and I'm like, dude, this is dumb. Okay,
The best
bye.
is like when you're seeing it and it's like one or two mutual friends. And then for like the last 12 months, it's always the same mutual friend. Like that guy.
Oh yeah, and
that
it's
guy,
like,
that same dude.
You know that
fucking,
guy like just always. You just know that dude.
Like, dude, how do you fall for it, bro?
Yeah. And you totally know that he's that kind of guy.
Oh, dude, I don't even have to even look anymore. I just know. It's almost like, hey, I bet you $5. I know. Boom, mutual friend. It's like I already know who he is. I won't say your name, but you know who you are. Okay, so we got our next question. Name 3 bands that no doubt influence you prior to playing music?
3 bands. See, like, are you saying like my 3 favorite bands or?
No, 3 bands that influenced you, no doubt, prior to you even playing an instrument.
See, I didn't even really think about that before, because I like a lot of bands. Like throughout my life, let's see.
Well, let's do a little detour here. When did you first start playing? And what was the
I was always playing piano, like, as long as I could remember being alive. Like, that was, like, kind of my first instrument that I, like, really started getting, like, good at.
Did you, your parents have you in lessons?
No.
Just
like, or maybe I took, lessons from somebody, like, once, like, one day, I think.
But you never went and saw, like, Mrs. Smith?
No.
You know, the old lady who
But I did get
piano
guitar lessons for, like, 1 year. And that was pretty good. It helped me out, like, learn basic chords and stuff. And that was pretty much all I needed to get started. I was like, after that, I was like, oh, I know how to play guitar. It just came to me after that. It was like, okay. It was so simple. I don't know how it came. It was just like, after I just learned all the basic notes and chords, I was like, it just made total sense to me. And now I just know that I just need to get my fingers exercised right.
Do you remember that day? Like the day.
Let's see. I don't know. Like that day.
It clicked, or at least the time period.
I just know that like when I figured out that like I could overdub and loop stuff, I was like, oh crap, man! Like, you know, I'm so good at like figuring out the notes and stuff and like piecing things together, and so I started experimenting with all this equipment and stuff, and I started making this really complicated music that sounded.
How old were you?
It must have been like, it must have been like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. Like I started like recording stuff when I was like probably 10 years old, trying to like make like video game sounding music. I got this
8-bit stuff.
Yeah, and I was really good at it, and I have some of it posted online on a YouTube channel. It's still there.
I'll pull it up here in a minute.
It's funny. It's just like some weird like 8-bit sounding stuff, and it sounds pretty good. Like I don't know it. That would be how long ago it was. Maybe I was like 15 or 16 or something. It just feels like forever ago.
Okay, so back to
Where'd that bass line come from?
It's the hidden track on this.
Oh, there's a hidden track. Like, did we just accidentally just leave the amp on over there?
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, dude. Like, all my favorite bands had hidden tracks. The most unique hidden track I think I ever heard was...
Oh, just after a long silence?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great.
My favorite one was probably Green Day's I'm All By Myself.
Which album was that?
On Dookie, when they had that All By Myself, that fucking jerking off song. You there?
I don't remember that.
And then the most the funniest bonus song or like hidden song with mystery track was Korn's on their like debut album, and then, like it was like this recording of like this guy and his wife, and they were like working on this like exhaust manifold, and he's yelling at her. He's like, first you gotta put on the what was her name, Brenda? You're a hard woman to live with. Like it's just. It was pretty funny.
That's pretty rad.
Cobain had one on Nevermind. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, must have been like 5th grade, and I had the CD playing, you know, and it ended, and like 16 minutes later.
Did they do that on the cassette too?
16 minutes later, I don't know if they did, but 16 minutes later, all of a sudden, like, you start hearing, what the hell is the even song was called? It was, Endless Nameless. And it was just like,
Yeah.
This is the bonus track that was on fucking Dookie. This is for everybody that's
I
over.
remember this one.
This
Yeah.
is for everybody over 30.
Yeah, I had this CD.
I was thinking of you.
You know what? I was in preschool when I had this CD.
I was all by myself.
I was all by myself. All by myself. All by myself. Dude, isn't it funny that I listened to this shit when I was just tiny? I was like, dude, this is my favorite. I don't know why I loved Green Day so much too when I was just a tiny little kid.
When I was interviewing Jorgen last time he was here, we got to the question, and I was like, all right, I don't know how we got to it, but I was like, all right, question, buddy. Green Day or Blink-182?
Green Day.
It took him a minute, but I was...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Blink-182? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Green Day. Any day.
Yeah.
Besides Blink-182. It's like an insult.
Green Day was hilarious.
You couldn't compare those two bands.
And that opening album, Dookie, is so good. It's
Yeah.
like 7 songs in a row are just like heat. Alright, let me see what you got. So earlier, Julian was. I'm working on. I'm trying to pull up right now.
Oh, you wanted to like play the 8-bit music?
8-bit stuff.
Oh my god. It's almost embarrassing,
I'm
like
trying
how
to find it
stupid
right
it
now.
sounds, but like it's kind of like how it's good that I was like able to make that stuff.
Yeah. Well, so how do I search this thing up?
RETTOS. And then TUNE, like space tune.
What's that first word?
Tune, yeah, Redos. I don't know why I like named it that. How many years ago was it? 5 years ago?
5 years ago.
So I was like 15.
We got.
And I thought I was good at that stuff.
Powered on. Shamisen Samurai.
Yeah, dude, I was like just experimenting with like shit.
Let's hear the Samurai. This is everybody out there in YouTube land. This is 15-year-old Julian.
Yeah, I was like pretty
what is
inspired. I guess I was inspired by like Daft Punk and stuff. And I was like making all sorts of 8-bit music.
This is dope.
Yeah, dude, it was literally with like that. You could insert it into an 8-bit game and it would like run it.
What if you add some of those the stuff that we're doing now, like the screwdriver and shit, and you like added like and you kind of made shit like this, like did a whole side project album.
Dude, your dad's gonna get all like pissed. He's like, this fucking music is stupid.
This is like boss mode.
It is like boss mode, huh?
Or final level, like right before you get to
Yeah,
the
I was
boss.
really inspired by this game called
By the time
like
you get to boss,
Shamisen Samurai.
little double time.
Or no, it was called no, that's the name of the song, but like the game was called Shinobi 3 and was like so it had this awesome soundtrack to it. It was fucking sick and I like wanted to make something like it.
My buddy Brandon Baugh from Metaphoria, when he posted about a month ago, like he wants to like he was like, I want to put together like a Nintendo cover band and like cover all the old 8-bit like cool songs from NES. Well, let's see what we got. One more. While we're
I feel
playing
like
this,
the other one's better.
Alright, DJ's request.
Yeah, I'll do that one. It's like probably more annoying, but
This is Redos tune, RETTOS. The song's called Powered On.
this is so like techno-y.
Alright, so you never named the 3 bands. We're gonna get on that.
So like ecstasy, like fucking blah, blah, blah. Dude. Oh yeah, I was on Adderall. I made that while I was on like Ritalin and medicated and shit. That's why I was like into it. I was like so focused on like all this coding and stuff. I actually like learned how to do it all. Like it took me like a month of like learning all that shit. But like it's just fun that I was able to do it. Like that's pretty much all I was kind of doing was just like an experiment. That's just a little side project.
15 years old, dude, that's super creative. That's better than some local musicians.
Dude, I think like Dayton tried to do something or he was talking about it. He probably couldn't do it that good.
Neither could Nigel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, no. I guess not. Yeah, people would be surprised by the shit that like I know how to do. Like I don't even fucking talk about half the shit.
You're not a big boaster.
Like I don't boast about anything, dude. I don't really.
You like underrate yourself, don't you?
Definitely.
Yeah. Humble.
Humble, I guess. I don't boast, really. I just, like, you know, when people want to talk about the stuff, it gets me excited. I'm like, yay. You know, somebody's interested in, you know, what I'm up to. But, yeah, a lot of the time, like, people don't ask, you know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if you've ever been in that stage in life, but, like, you know, most of the time people look at me and... You know, they don't really care about what I have to say. I guess I feel like that way. I guess most of the time they just like kind of listen. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm just fucking... Everybody thinks I just like smoke weed and I sit in this room and do nothing.
Yeah, that's like...
And I'm like,
I feel like that's it.
Yeah, like, I'm like, really? Like, everybody thinks I'm just like, oh, Brandon's just a fucking hippie. Yeah,
I just feel like, you know, I'm intelligent enough. Once you get to know me, you just need to really know who I am. Like, I might seem like a dumbass if you just meet me at first, but like...
Oh, me too, dude.
But like, I get shit done. I work really hard, and you know, when people see me, at least my fucking coworkers respect me for getting everything done for them. Cause like, fuck, dude, like everybody slacks so much, and
that's how I feel.
I just feel like I gotta get stuff done so like no one gets in trouble. But seriously, I feel like it's up to me most of the time, every day, like to make. I should be the supervisor to be like. Because most of the time I'm telling everybody, like, okay, guys, we need to get this done right now because, like, there's going to be so many customers in, like, 10 minutes. We have to, like, get rolling because, like, this store is a mess. And, like, all the trash cans are full or whatnot. Like, I hate working in a place like that.
Hey, this music right here we're listening to is Jorgen and Julian with their side band. Tell me about this night a little bit, man. Tell everybody, tell the people about it.
I guess we really, like... Me and Jorgen like to work on some kind of like experimental sounding soundscaping music, I guess. I don't know, is that how you would put it?
Yeah. Live improvised?
Yeah, it's just like kind of improvising, and we just kind of went for it, and you know, it would be more of like an open mic scenario most of the time if we did something like that, I feel. Like, if you know, what we're playing right now, like, that would be more like, I wish we played that something at, like, an open mic. We should have prepared more. But, like,
how do you rehearse something that's improvised?
Well, I mean, we don't...
spend more time in that
I just feel
zone.
like, yeah, we need to spend more time, like, trying those, like, certain melodies out and, like, making sure we have enough, like, different things to play.
Also learning each other's body language. Feedback, icon, like learning all the little
especially
how to communicate.
Yeah, but that was also our first time, so like I understand that. Like we weren't used to doing that.
It went
like,
well.
Just like, yeah, I thought it sounded alright. Like at the same time, like though, like I shouldn't have played bass at the beginning. I should have just like fucking stuck with just playing guitar.
Your acoustic sounded real amazing that night. I forget how pretty that you have such a you have a what is it?
It's an Ovation. It's an electric acoustic, and I really liked it because I had like nice thin body
with those like drill holes in it.
Yeah, no, it was like really, it's good, but it needs some new strings for sure. Like the strings were a little nasty sounding, and that's what I wasn't too happy about that night. So Once I get those changed, it'll be nice.
So back to the question: 3 bands that influenced you prior to playing. So before you were 10, 12, 15, before you were doing all that 8-bit stuff.
So 3
what
bands.
Were 3 bands that were turning you on? Why did you know?
So something that really influenced me to make that like 8-bit stuff right there was Daft Punk. Really, I was really into their melodies. They chose really like, to me, really unique melodies. I listened to this album called Daft Punk Discovery, and they had like this like anime music video movie that was like an hour long that you could watch.
I've always been a big fan of Daft Punk.
And have you ever watched Interstellar 5555? It's really cool. It's just like anime, but it's just all a music video. There's no like talking or anything. It's just like all the actual dialogue is through the lyrics of their songs, and it's really, really compelling and interesting, and like, you know, you get drawn into it really well. And that's why like when you listen to the record, I bought the record because it was so like, I thought the music was so good, and it's a really good like, that was something I got lost in, I guess, when I was younger, was like Daft Punk's music. They had such a good like trancey rhythm. So that's one band that I guess influenced me like the most.
What was the first album you owned?
First album I owned ever? Let's see, like
that wasn't
like
your
ever.
That wasn't your parents. The one that you saved up your milk money and you bought your first album.
Ooh, see, that must have, I think that might have been like one of those ones that was like the most expensive.
Daft Punk?
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was also this hip hop album by Cannibal Ox, a deluxe album that I really liked, but I mean that's not really, that was like something I spent a lot of money on, but it's not like something I totally like am influenced by musically, but like it is also something that I'm like pretty into. Maybe one day getting into like creating like instrumentals for that kind of thing, like maybe being like a session instrumentalist for hip hop artists, because I'm pretty good at creating those actually.
You're not just into rock?
Not completely, no. It's I get a lot into hip hop stuff. Like that's something I listen to most of the time, honestly. I guess like, I don't know, did you even know that about me? That I liked hip hop a lot?
Well, I mean,
I guess I did rap that one time, and I was like, I wrote this rap song. You remember that?
I picked up on your diversity for different types of music when you drove us all up to the Mount Baker Hot Springs.
Yeah.
Your playlist was cool. You were playing like
I played a bunch of like old school shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really into 90s rap.
But you were playing like a lot of that lo-fi.
Yeah, lo-fi stuff too. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people that I found that were inspired by like some pretty old artists. And I feel like there's still a good hip-hop crowd out there who like makes new music like daily. And I keep finding new stuff that like that like people like. There's stuff that people listen to nowadays that people pay a lot of money to go see that's just shitty.
How do you feel about stuff like this?
This is amazing.
So
this is Michael's music.
Yeah, what we're listening to right now, this is Michael. This song's called No Regrets. I wrote this song, well, I didn't write this song, but I got lucky enough to be a part of it one night with Michael. We were in the back of the woods at the campfire, and Michael was playing this, and he was like, we were like fucking around jamming, like just drinking, having a good time. And it's probably like 1 a.m. back there. And Michael just starts freestyling this. And it was just hitting home.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've all lost friends in life. And
yeah.
People that we cared about. I asked Michael one time what the song's about.
Michael's a mind reader, man.
I asked him what the song was about one time, and he told me one of our good friends had passed away, and I guess this was a quote from him, and like weeks before he passed, he looked at Michael and he said, Hey, ma'am. Fuck it all, no regrets.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a suicidal kid. He was not, he loved life, lived life. He passed away in a motorcycle accident over on Highway 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Head on.
It's kind of sad that that we drive right there every day.
But he lives on forever. We always talk about him. We always remember him.
Man, I'm sorry.
But that's what, I remember asking Michael, well, hey, what was that? What was that about? Because I was connecting. I asked him. I thought it was about another friend. And he said no. It was about someone else. And I was like, dude, I felt that. And you know who you are up there in heaven listening.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, name 3 bands. Well, you only named 2. You got a hip hop one and you got Daft Punk.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that was like one album I saved up a lot of money for, but like,
Anything when
okay,
you were a little kid,
let's
your
not
parents
say
played-
like
anything-
I really liked Tool, man. Tool hit home for me, like
about,
when
like-
I was 2 years old,
So
dude.
those are, I was just gonna ask, albums that your parents spun that you were just
Yeah, man. Like, I guess it would have to be the ones that my parents gave me that like really influenced me the most, dude. Because I love Alice in Chains so much, Pearl Jam and Tool. Like, I guess those 3 bands are the ones I listen to when I'm like the most sad, or like if I just need something to listen to, and I just know that it's like the best thing to listen to. You know, those are my favorite bands ever. Like Alice in Chains, Tool.
Isn't that funny how we are as human beings? Like,
Yeah.
well, like when we're sad and upset, we don't want to hear things that are happy. We want to hear music that makes us even more sad. It's like, I want to live in this sadness.
Yeah, and it also takes you back to like a fucking good time in your life too, because like you listen to those.
Are you a reminiscent person?
I guess so, man. Because I remember just like waking up in the morning, being like like 9, 10 years old, like. And like I was drinking beer because my parents would let me do it, or it was just my dad. He would let me do it.
I remember that. Like, I remember my
and I was like, I'm gonna play PlayStation.
taking a sip off the Corona.
Oh, dude, I would like wake up, play PlayStation. I'd play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and like fucking do the cheat codes. I had like this whole like written out fucking cheat code list for the game. There was hundreds of cheats.
I remember back in the day, we used to have to go to like grocery store or like before there was even GameStops, and we'd be like opening the video game magazine, and we'd be like, we would like either we'd write them down, but like if we didn't have time to write them, we would
like,
steal.
at
We would
least, like 9 or 10.
we would
years
rip
old.
out the page and just take it home. Sorry, Safeway.
It's cool like how long that stuff lasted. I remember when game demos came on CDs in the magazines and shit. When you'd go down to Central Market. Like,
All right,
that
buddy.
shit
So
was dope.
let's move on to the next question. Name 3 bands that are currently influencing you, like right now, like on your top spin, or like what 3 bands out there, locally, nationally, worldwide, in the past.
So I think right now I really like thrive for a kind of like personally, I don't know, like okay, so do you think, are you asking me, do you want me to describe like what kind of style like I like the most?
No, well, you can if you want to, but the question is 3 bands that are currently influencing you.
Okay, so 3 bands that are currently influencing me. So I guess Alice in Chains, I like that sound for Toast, like to kind of drive like singing wise, like I think
Or even influencing you artistically, emotionally, personally. I mean, like you said, I guess Alice in Chains has been a lifelong thing for you, huh?
Yeah, no, like Alice in Chains, like has always kind of been like.
That'll be on your like, I live in the retirement home. That'll be on my old man playlist.
Yeah, I'll have
Better have
that
Alice in
record. I don't
Chains.
even have a fucking LP yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get my hands on. I mean, my dad's got all those. But like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna steal this.
On my deathbed. This is my deathbed playlist. I want some Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
So, Who else right now? Who else is like you find yourself constantly playing or going back to?
Tool in a Perfect Circle, and let's see, Soundgarden, of course. That's always something I listen to. God.
How'd that hit you?
Soundgarden or Chris
Well,
Cornell dying?
Yeah, last year.
It really took me by surprise. I was like, holy fuck. I listen to his voice every day.
I always said I used him as like a, when people wear those "What Would Jesus Do" bracelets. I
hear his voice in my head every day. It's weird,
I always used Chris Cornell. I mean, I'm not, personally, they're singing. I'm nowhere near. No, I don't think any human being is nowhere near close to him.
Yeah.
But I always use him as a bar. Like, he set the bar, and so I always use that as like, singing and trying to write songs and create songs. Even though I don't really sing or play in that style, but I always had in the back of my mind, what would Chris do?
What would Chris do? Is he Jesus?
Yeah, like the same thing. Like, how would he approach a song? And I've done the same thing with Michael Jackson. Like, how would he?
I do that with my great grandmother.
Like, how would he approach this?
If I did that with my great grandmother who passed away a few years ago,
what would she want to hear?
What would she want me to do? Because she loved me to death. She would have done anything for me. I don't know. I bet she sang.
But you never shared any
man.
music experiences with her.
Yeah, but she was the sweetest lady ever, and honestly, the most innocent person I've ever seen. She'd never fucking do anything to anybody.
That's how my that's how my grandma is.
She was like innocent. She was like the most like beautiful like little lady that was just like the fucking sweetest thing,
Walk with halo.
There's this little lady that comes
halo
into my
around their head
Starbucks every day who just reminds me just of her, and I almost cry.
Yeah.
Because like
you never know, it could be.
Yeah. No.
All right, man. So action movie or horror movie?
Did I forget what I was gonna say?
No, we're good. Action movie or horror movie? And what's the favorite of them?
Shit, man, I like horror movies.
Okay. Favorite?
That's like a hard one because there's like not very many good ones because most horror movies are pretty shitty.
Corny?
Yeah.
B movies, but they're fucking great.
Like every horror movie seems to be like just so fucking shitty that I can't handle it at one point, that I'm just like, oh, god damn it.
Did you ever watch Leprechaun?
No. There's a lot of good shows and movies I have not seen because I just like don't take the time. I'm focused on doing stuff so much of the time that I don't watch stuff.
All right, well, think about
That's
it.
my life.
So what if you could name one? What would be your favorite horror movie?
So my favorite horror movie might be Damn, there's just no good ones.
All right, we'll help you out. I'll keep it easy. Jason, Michael Myers, Halloween, Freddy Krueger, Child's Play.
See, they're just
Scream.
too corny. The old ones are too corny for me, and like I'm trying to think of like one that actually like fucking like really. See, Black Mirror's stuff really got me scared.
So you like the new stuff?
That's like that whole like season 4, I guess, like that sort of stuff, like looking into like realistic scenarios that are like
Plausible.
life-threatening and totally crazy, and multi-dimensional, like that kind of stuff. I guess is the stuff that scares me a little bit more.
Stuff that could happen.
Outer space exploration videos, like those are insane, and also like the movies that they made, like the movie Gravity was pretty crazy.
Did
like
you see Interstellar?
Yeah, I saw Interstellar.
I really like that.
I've seen all those fucking outer space movies. Those are.
Oh, did you ever see Europa Report?
Europa Report? No.
On Netflix, that one was good.
What is that about?
They go to try and find life or habitable space on Europa, one of the moons from Venus, I believe, or it could be Saturn. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Man, I don't know shit about space really, but
But
I
it
just,
was,
like,
it was
I'm
so good,
interested
dude.
in
It was kind of like one of those Blair Witch movies where you're watching.
Oh, is it just a bunch of like random shots?
Well, you're watching old
and,
like their handy cam footage.
Yeah, they're like
Okay, so you named your favorite kind of horror movie right now is
Yeah, it's watching. It's like
Black
watching.
Mirror.
It's like watching. You know,
You like
Black
that
Mirror
surrealism.
kind of like yeah.
so what
It makes it all makes sense. It feels like it would totally be real, and like you could totally fucking like experience that maybe. Like I feel like that dog episode called
the only Black Mirror I saw was the Bandersnatch.
Okay, well, there's this one episode. I'll explain it
Which
to you.
that Bandersnatch
This
was
is something
awesome.
I'd love to explain.
If you haven't seen it out there in YouTube land, go see Go watch the
Bandersnatch is
Bandersnatch.
good, but I won't give it as much credit as the rest of the show. The rest of the show is way better than that.
Well, I just the interactive
But yeah,
part.
the interactive part.
That was so
It's
like
so
next
cool.
gen, like
Next
level.
gen, dude.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you my favorite episode of Black Mirror must have been in like, or actually all of season 4 basically was like super cool. Like you get there's like a metaphor to each episode, and it means something in real life, and also at the same time there's like technology in it.
Each episode's different, or do they like episode 1 leads
Each episode
to episode
each
2?
episode's like has a totally different story.
Oh, so
and
it's
everything.
not like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's got like totally new like technology concept in it that like fucks with society. Like, there's one called I think it's called High Dive or something, or Nosedive. That's what it's called. And this girl like is so obsessed with like making herself seem so happy on social media so she can get likes and stuff, so that and basically in that society, if you get all that stuff, you are higher in society. Like in that movie,
your status.
Yeah, your status is actually higher, so you can actually get past certain gates, like literally doors. And if you have like a 5.0 rating, you can get through a door into your work office. Like you need to have that to like work there. And if you don't keep that persona up, you're fucking fucked. And people start disliking you on their phones and stuff. It's like the weirdest shit, dude. So that kind of horror kind of situation, if something like that was like real, I would literally kill myself, dude. It's fucked up, dude. Like you see these people in this show, they're like, oh, weird, but it makes you think, like in real life, people are trying to get all this like affirmation through social media and nonsense, and I don't thrive for that. Like literally what I want people to see.
But where do you draw the line on that? Like with
Where do I draw the line?
No, I mean that's just society in general. Where do we draw the line on like allowing people to have that much public or social influence?
Well,
I mean,
that's
because you know,
the
I mean,
thing.
we
don't draw the line anymore because everybody's
whole
like
reason
keeps developing more and more ways to get like social recognition. Like people keep coming out with apps and stuff like for bands, and like it's not gonna work, and people keep posting things like get recognized, get followers, get this and that, and that's like all it's about. Hey, you've seen all that, right? All these like fake ads that like, I mean, you can literally pay for people to follow you, but what's the point of that?
I sent an email to one of the bookers. I'm not gonna name your name, but you know who you are. It was one of Seattle venues. So I'm back and forth typing emails for probably 6 weeks. I put together a legit exciting show, 4 great bands back to back, and not only did I like book 4 great bands, but I put them in like a playlist sequence where like throughout the night it would grow into an amazing fun night.
Yeah.
With the lineup order, I present this to the venue, and these guys literally responded with like, "Oh, I can't do this. No, rearrange it." I rearranged this fucking lineup 4 different times to the point where we were the only band that was on the original lineup. Long story short, I grew up loving the movie Tommy Boy. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay, so one of the best lines is when Tommy Boy looks at the guy and he goes, I'll shit in a cardboard box, put a guarantee on it if that makes you happy. And so I said the same. I sent the email to him. I said, you know what? Forget this. I was like, I'll tell you what. I'll shit in a box and I'll guarantee it. And then after that, I'll go home. I'll go on Facebook because he told me he wanted that we needed more likes. And then then we could get. And I was
that's like what I was so surprised about when you said that originally.
Yeah. So I told him that I'll shit in a box. I'll go home and I'll buy 5,000 likes from China like overnight. And you tell me what the fuck difference that makes.
Oh yeah, seriously.
And then I was like, dude, it's like, oh wow, these guys are really fucking getting draws.
Dude, shit in a box on video and get 5,000 likes. It'll happen, and then yeah, like
tell
here,
me why
now.
we became better. All of a sudden, we're a better band now.
Right?
I was like, I could go buy the likes, and then I said the same thing. And then to wrap that fucking email up, I said, if you venues acted the same way in the 90s, we would have never had a fucking grunge scene. I go, you guys are stifling this fucking music scene. You're putting a fucking chokehold on everybody. It was the point where, like, you know, I was like, and then I said, like, can you even imagine, like telling, hey, Lane Staley. I mean, not to compare myself with fucking any bands, but like, just the idea if they acted like this to these up and coming bands in the 90s, because they were at one point, you know, Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Nirvana, they were nobodies. They were just local kids that fucking nobody gave a fuck about. They didn't matter. And it's like, can you imagine telling them like, oh well, you need more likes and then we'll book you. And then I said the final statement was, and can you even imagine Kurt Cobain even having
why don't they look at like how long ago we post our things and like start up
dudes
like
doing selfies?
Okay, we created our Instagram in, let's see, like, when was the first thing?
I don't know. I think it's like 6 weeks old or something like that, if that.
And we have so many followers. We got so many in like such a little amount of time. It was like a week, and we had like over. Like what? We have over. I know we had like a lot within like a week, and it was funny.
How fast it's spreading.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're, again, we're not anything special. We're not fucking nobody.
Well, yeah, no, like
we don't have millions of followers, but
no, we like within. Let's see.
For a local band, this isn't,
I'm gonna look at the first post here.
It's actually a band. We're not even a year old under this title. Toast.
Within a day, we gained 70 followers.
That's a lot of activity.
That seems like a lot to me. I don't know.
No, I mean, well, at this local level, fuck yeah, it is. There's a lot.
Isn't that funny?
Okay, dude. Next question. Favorite horror movie character?
Let's see. The scariest looking fucking thing I think I've ever seen is like The Grudge or that alien from Signs.
Yeah, dude, when they had that birthday party and that thing creeped out.
Oh, dude, like, yeah, that thing was so fucked
up.
If I saw that alien, like, outside my window, like, on top of a roof, I would shit my pants.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the scariest scene to me as a little kid. It gave me nightmares. And same with The Grudge, like, crawling around with her broken neck going, like, that was nasty, dude. Like... That should give me nightmares for years. I don't. Luckily, I just like know that shit's not gonna happen anymore. But like when I was a little kid, like I watched that shit when I was like 8, 7 years old. Like that was terrifying, dude. I fucking had nightmares. But yeah, same with the Signs movie. That alien fucked me up, for sure. I know those aren't great movies though. They're like totally butt movies. Like the acting is terrible. Like now that I look back at it, like it's just like ugh. Like every horror movie sucks. Brandon's gonna piss. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna say when Brandon's not here. He had really good questions. Let's see, Toast is doing pretty good though. Fun fact. There was over 350 people who came to see us at the Lincoln Theater. That makes me feel good about myself and the rest of the band. Make me feel like a newborn boy.
This song's about a fucking wrong call. Like, for real.
Yeah.
It was like a wrong phone call that kind of went right. I ended up getting a gig out of it. Alright, dude, where were you born?
I was born in Federal Way, I think. Like in a hospital over there.
What's your birth certificate say?
I think that's what it says. Like, I can't remember. I think that's what my birth certificate says.
Tell me a little about your childhood, man. Those cul-de-sac, bike riding, fucking, do you have neighborhood friends? Did you live in a neighborhood? Did you live in an apartment?
Several. So it's that kind of life where I moved around everywhere. Didn't have a solid group of friends until now.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Till
Yeah.
we were all fucking for a group. Never had like a solid group of friends, like ever. Like I always kind of like went like
Drifted,
every couple years I'd have like a new small group of friends that I would hang out with. So it was really weird, actually, different than a lot of people, I think. So like, let's see, I'm gonna go through it. I'll go through like every place I lived.
Well, go, man.
Like it's kind of cool. So, first place was, I guess, I lived with my mama. I was like two or something that I could remember, and we would go to church and shit. And I guess I don't think she really believed in that stuff, but like she just did it just for the sake of it, I guess. Just for at the time.
Are you faithful and religious?
Like I don't know. Like a lot of the time I don't think about that stuff, but like sometimes every once in a while I'm just like, stuff's a little too real to not have a God or something, you know, like yeah, everything's kind of perfectly human.
Would you say you had a relationship with God?
A little bit, yeah. Like sometimes I feel like
That's all you gotta say, man. Like that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like there's got to be, you know, something that new that a human race would have to be created in order to have any sort of, you know.
Do you think there's life out there?
Yeah. I feel like on other planets there's definitely, you know, organisms that have developed. They could be scary looking.
I don't.
You don't think so?
I used to.
Yeah, no, like
I've seen UFOs, but I don't think they were alien.
No, I think
they
they're
were.
ours.
I
but
think they were
think
literally
also,
unidentified flying
Brandon,
objects.
I think also, at the same time, it's hard for me to believe. Like, okay, when I think about like theories, man, I love how we get from like me explaining where I live to like this. So like
That's the whole point of the interview. Is some tangent.
When I think about like fucking UFOs and shit and aliens and stuff, like I do actually kind of believe that like
Do you believe that we're that special and that Earth and everything on it is that special?
I don't believe that Earth is the only thing
that we are the only one
that exists in the universe, because why would it be?
But that's part goes back to,
and also there's
not necessarily
what if
the
there's a
novelistic
possibility that there's just actually alternate dimensions that exist.
I agree on that.
Like
I believe there's parallel universes.
Like there's and that are actually there.
Yeah.
And
I saw a documentary one time where they were
it's a
explaining.
little weird.
Where they were
to think about
explaining
that sometimes.
how they were explaining the Big Bang and how it could possibly, how it was, you know, parallel universes were this membrane like object like this riding in parallel, and then at one point they move in waves, and then at one point those waves went, and they touch, and at that touch, two universes touching created a big bang and started us. And so like I guess math has proven it. I'm not again.
I don't know about that.
That gets into string theory shit. I have no idea. I can't back it up. We're all fucking Google and YouTube.
Sometimes
YouTube
people explain
scientists.
some shit that sounds complicated, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, so it's like parallel universes. So like other dimensions that everything's happening like in kind of in sequence, but like a little bit different.
Sometimes I think about, once you think about something that could happen, it has happened.
Well, you know what changed my mind? I was watching this documentary from the 80s. It was called For All Mankind. And it was a NASA documentary about the Apollo missions. Are you a flat earther?
No.
Okay. Do you believe we landed on the moon?
Yeah.
Do you think it was faked?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. The reason being is because I know
It's right there.
Well, the reason being is I know myself.
We've been on the moon
And
several times, thousands of times. I bet you anything. Like there's been so many space projects throughout a history of mankind on this planet Earth before recorded history.
Do you think if you had the economic backing, you could build a rocket and land on the goddamn moon? Just because you're like you got enough like just man in you. And,
dude,
like,
I think
that you got enough American cowboy.
Honestly,
in you, just,
I think the moon is closer than they tell us it is.
I think
it's actually very close.
Those 4 cowboys didn't strap themselves to a rocket and say "fuck you" and like prove you wrong, and I believe they did it.
They probably died.
They did it. They landed on that damn moon and they did it, and they came home and like I 100% believe it. And so listening.
Well,
to
you
that,
think cowboys came back home from the moon?
Well, no, I mean those dudes.
But
those dudes, like
people from the revolutionary or industrial revolution era,
about,
or
like,
what are you talking about?
Texas boys.
Are you just talking about those Texas boys?
Those Texas boys.
Okay, because I was actually talking about like. I thought you were actually saying like dudes from like a long time ago, like actually, because I don't know about like people from the Industrial Revolution fucking strapping themselves on a rock and going yahoo.
Guys with the first name Buzz. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Dude, like okay, dude, like.
Yeah, my name is Buzz Mick something.
So it's just like that, dude. Like those dudes were just fucking. They were like American cowboys. They were like just those like good old boys who were like, yeah, fuck you, I'll prove you. You see, I can't jump this.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah.
Evil Knievel. And so they did it. They landed on the goddamn moon. And watching that documentary For All Mankind, it was. I don't know who was narrating it was towards the end of the documentary, and it was one of the missions. He was talking about like he sat on the
Which one are you talking about?
It was a documentary called For All Mankind.
And what was like kind of like the main focus of that one?
Just the Apollo missions.
Oh, okay.
Just the precursor Mercury missions, where they were testing trying to get up into space orbit. And then they tested the Apollo missions were straight to the moon. That's where it was a one giant leap for man, all that stuff. So it was, what's the quote? One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what I thought of when you said that. I was like, yep.
So it was during those missions. And so he was describing what it felt like to sit on he sat on some, bluff or little little crater, edge. And he was looking back at Earth the way that we look at the moon from home. And he realized at that moment, how precious and valuable all life was on that planet, here on Earth. And how I'm here 250, 300,000 miles away from home. And I'm sitting in this suit with the helmet on. And I can't survive. But in all this vastness of space and Earth, there actually is a spot. And there's a destination where I can take my helmet off and thrive. It was just at that moment I realized at the same time yeah, dude, we are we have we live on this floating garden of Eden where we don't we are aliens here too, and we could take our spacesuit off and we could just kick it. We are from here.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere else in the galaxy that we can go to. So I don't when I saw stuff like that, it makes me think sometimes that maybe we are that special, and not to quote the Bible or anything because I won't, but maybe this is, this is it. Like, this is what, like, we are the center point. That God created all this, and we're here, like, where we belong.
It's also weird, like, everybody has their own consciousness, and everybody's got their own personality.
You ever thought about it like that? Like, I think we talked about this one time. Like, it's not an ego thing or a sociopath thing, but it's like everybody in life is like extras in your, like a Truman Show thing.
Yeah, it feels like that at some point, right?
In your movie.
Yeah, but like, for real though, you're alive, I'm alive.
Yeah.
We're both like talking to each other,
like,
and we know what's going on. Like, whose movie? Yeah, dude, we're so on the same page. But
or are we just syncing up?
But you know what? We're in the same show.
Yeah. Somehow we're sharing an episode.
Ah, man, like, people like gotta hear this shit right here. That's like something to think about. Like, are we all part of some crazy big TV show about?
Or like some like synthetic program like Matrix.
It's like,
right? Like we're all like, we're just in it, and like we're getting fed our own version of it.
Yeah, it's like everything's too good to be true.
All right, did you graduate high school?
No.
Lack of effort, credits, attendance?
Probably, drama from people that, like, I didn't deserve
out?
From.
Or did you go to the very last day?
Let's see, I actually did go through all of high school, but it was, like, running start, so I, like, did, like, started doing, like, 2 years of college. I started getting credits early on. And
side note,
it just ended up not working out too well.
This is Psycho Grunge's Toast is Psycho Soft.
Psycho Soft.
I dig this version.
Yeah, I love it too. I like listening to it.
It's chill as fuck. So back to high school, man.
So yeah, high school didn't like go too well because there was just like too much shit kind of going on in my life, and it's all really depressing. It's like a hell of a fucking, like, not exciting. It's fucking very sad, I guess.
Share it, man.
I don't know. I guess I had like a girlfriend for 4 years, and she helped me, like.
You don't gotta share any names, but yeah, share what happened.
Yeah, no, I had a girlfriend for 4 years, and that seemed to like help me kind of stay less focused on like all my family problems and whatnot. But the truth is I had like I had to move around all over the place.
I was gonna say, you earlier you were talking about like how you just finally.
Yeah, I was gonna say like where I moved on.
You're just getting your first group of real friends.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Did she become like your first friend?
She became like my first real close person.
Yeah.
I had like a couple like tiny swings with a girl where I was like, oh, I like you too, but like nothing nothing ever happened. With her it was like we were together for 4 years, and we decided that we loved each other a lot, and we might want to get married one day, you know what I mean? But it never happened. Yeah.
You think that was just like young love and emotions?
Yeah, it was just young love and emotions, and like we had both had like tough family lives where we didn't have like the right care we needed, and we had like, again, like obviously anger issues and emotional problems, and we would have each other to fix that for us. And that goes again for a lot of young relationships that happen. Like, again,
my coping mechanism.
Yeah, we were coping with each other. That's pretty much all it was.
But that's what young love's about.
Mm-hmm. And when I started to see that that's how it was, I broke it off, and I realized that I needed to work on myself and become an adult and grow up a bit. And then of course I got involved with another girl, and another one, and another one. But after that last one, I realized, shit, man, I need to be my own person before, and I need to know who I am.
Boundaries.
Yeah, and I need to set boundaries for girls, and be like, hey, this is who I am. You need to deal with that.
some things.
Cause now I know who I am and I know what I want.
The older I got, and one thing I learned is like there's some things you share, and there's some things you just keep to yourself.
Yep. And you know.
And it's the same
that
thing,
is
like,
all about being human and respecting
with,
everyone's boundaries.
With the band guys, you know, like you guys, you know, some things we got to keep to ourselves, and you know, we don't want to give the public 100% of Toast. You give them 80%, you keep 20% for yourselves, man. Like, if you give the world 100% of yourself, they'll just gobble you up and spit you out. You gotta keep, some of yourself, like, some.
Well, the thing is like every time
you gotta be grounded, you know.
Every time we give a lot, we're not giving it everything we can because we don't always do that. We're just having fun because we know like we're capable of doing whatever the fuck once we have to.
I guess I mean to tighten the screws on my statement would be like lyric content, emotional value, like personal issues, like some things like, you know, there's some artists that just put all of themselves out there, and then it's like then you.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by all of themselves?
Lyrically and stuff, like, you know, like some of your truths. I feel like, you know, you can use your truths.
Oh, do you mean like literal?
Yeah, like you could use your truths.
Like so literal and just not like
and leave the
making a cool metaphor with their lyrics or something. It's just so obvious what they're singing about or something.
And then if you give too much, then you have nothing left to give.
Yeah.
Other than waiting another decade for life experience to sing about.
Yeah.
You know.
I had a problem with a girl, and she broke my heart.
Like some of the best
and
albums
that's it.
are coming from like, you know, they come from that like mid to late 20 zone because you're singing about everything you went through from 12 to 25. You know, you had you know, it gives you a whole generation to sing about and ideas, and once you sing about those, you got to move on.
All right, let's give a little credit to Contra the band. They put on an amazing track here. I remember going to see them live over at Desi's house show down on 3rd Street House. I believe they don't do shows anymore. I believe they don't do shows there anymore. It's too bad. But yeah, I remember seeing this show come on like probably the last time they ever did it.
You saw Contra live?
Yeah.
I've never seen them live.
Oh, dude. This was amazing.
Other than, like, I mean, I wasn't a band with them.
I got a little video of them. I posted it on Instagram. I thought it was so awesome, dude. I thought they were, like, the coolest sounding. They did inspire me a little bit that night. I was like, dude, I want Toast to keep doing gigs and stuff because it feels good to do that. And they were just kicking ass. Like, they just sound so loud and badass. It's too bad
circumstances didn't work out where... You know, Contra was supposed to do that Lincoln show with us.
Yeah. Amen. God bless, eh?
Yeah, right. God bless.
They got some good-ass time signature, organized.
Dude, what was the first song you learned on guitar?
First song I learned on guitar. So I remember I tried to learn a lot. And I guess I started making my own songs first.
I did the same thing, dude. I tried to learn covers, and I got really frustrated because I couldn't figure it out. And I said, "Fuck this!" I saw.
No, I just started making my own music at first.
I saw similarities between songs, and those similarities ended up just being called what you call bar chords, and power chords. And
right, and then you make augmented chords after that.
And then from that
I figured
point
all
on,
that stuff out.
I played four bar chords in a sequence, like, you know, let's just say A, C, G, E or something like that. And it had a rhythm and a beat and a pattern, and I started singing, and next thing I know, I started writing songs from that point on. And I was like, wow, this is so much easier than trying to learn someone else's song. Because it never made sense. I'm a hands-on learner, and to try and watch people wasn't. I have to ask questions, and if I don't have those questions answered, I won't learn.
I remember trying to watch videos of like people doing like speed guitaring and like all this hammer-on notes and everything, and trying to do like I was pretty into like trying to do that kind of music for a little bit because I wanted to just play really well, sweeping.
Sweeping, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to learn how to sweep and do all that fast, all those fast notes, and like.
Did you ever get there?
I got really, really close, and I figured out a cool technique that a lot of people don't know about, but it's not like I can do it well or anything.
Yeah, it's funny how we all have different techniques. I mean, lately I've been into these upstrokes.
Yeah, I do a lot of upstroking.
I feel like it's
every time I play guitar or
when
bass.
You're playing rhythm guitar, sometimes it's easier to sing on the upstroke.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what you're supposed to do. That's the way a professional plays is that he's doing a lot of upstrokes, and because it's
actually listening because each stroke sounds different.
Yeah, and the more strokes you use, the less exhausted your arm's gonna be. Like you need to just keep going, up and down and saving your arm all that.
So what was the first song?
All that machine gunning.
What was the first song you learned on guitar?
The first song I learned on guitar. I just don't remember, man. I remember I did try to learn that song. Like I was pretty young. No, I never learned that. Like I tried learning like Tool music at first. I think like the thing is I like tried to just jam out on my own, and that was kind of like what I was into at first. I just started like improvising.
So did you? The first time you really jammed successfully, was it an original or a cover?
Like just jamming out, it just kind of sounded like I was. It just sounded like I was making a Tool song.
And you nailed it, and it was yours.
Yeah, and I was like, this sounds like Tool, but it's like my song, so this is sick. And it sounded, totally just like a cheap Tool song.
How old were
basically.
you? How old were you when you
when you
started playing guitar?
I was.
And what was your first guitar?
See, I had a first act, and I was like 2 years old.
Acoustic or electric?
And it was an acoustic, and it was like a little one. And I would just always play it, It was always there. I also had a keyboard, and that was something I also got pretty good at growing up. Like, I could play piano worth of shit. I can't.
We were jamming. Remember, we played, we played Lost House Shoe the other night at Mirkwood in the back room on piano.
Oh, yeah, no. I know how to play piano, dude. Like,
what else,
I got it.
Did we play Pretty and Dumb or Cool Cutter on piano? I don't remember. Like, we were both singing it. One of the two, but we
were doing Lost Found Shoe, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. We should do like a fucking like jazzy piano version. I'll play piano for it.
We should sit in with Foxy Apollo sometime.
Here's another great this is just like a 3-part song, and it just all the notes actually go together with each part. Like it's all like connected. Yeah, it's so cool. That's why I like their album so much.
So you can't think of the first song you learned, huh? Other than like.
Well, I was about to say. I guess the first song I ever tried to play was on a harmonica. Or like the first song that I actually learned the lyrics to was like "Last Dance with Mary Jane" by Tom Petty. Like those are I think the first good lyrics song. I learned, and I tried to play the harmonica part. And that was like the first song I learned.
So you kind of answered this already. What was the first instrument, and when did you learn to play?
So the first instrument, I think. Let's see. Like, I actually didn't know fully how to play guitar till I was like 10 years old. And with piano, it's kind of a guessing game most of the time, but like I know the chords and stuff for the most part.
Hey, am I coming through on this mic? Oh yeah, I'm right here. I am.
Yeah, I think so.
So piano was a guessing game?
Yeah, a lot of piano was a guessing game, but I did play it.
Is that how you developed your ear?
For like 20 years. Almost.
Is that where you kind
Probably. And like also like making the 8-bit music and stuff like, and it's all about like.
How did you do that?
You can line up every note.
How did you do that 8-bit music?
You type it. You type it with with all these numbers.
What program did you use?
And it's called Family Tracker. And it's a cool thing. And originally the Nintendo Entertainment System in Japan was called the Family Tracker, so that's why it's called that. Or the Famicom, that's what it was called. So that's the Japanese version of the NES. So you can like make the music with that, and there's like a program that you can download that like you can make exactly this stuff. It's like the exact same coding and everything. So you just type it basically, and it just plays it in order.
How do you type it? Like in like Microsoft Word?
Nope, it's just in this program, and
I mean, that same type of style though. Like you're typing it like in a paragraph.
it's just
sentence?
It's just numbers.
Or is it more?
It's just
like,
numbers and letters. That's it. It's codes. And you also have to like, you know, you can type a bunch of different codes for like
I don't know
one.
anything about computers, but like, so
It's
like
crazy, dude.
like
It's complicated as fuck.
Like a DOS type like setting.
It looks like it, kind of. It just looks like you're typing a bunch of green, and it's like a bunch of green text and like a bunch of just numbers and letters. No, it's not this.
It's DOS.
It's DOS. It's but
Okay,
like
so-
literally, you have to like time every note and everything. It's like it takes a lot of time to make one of those. It took me like hours out of one day, and I was just like all like on my Ritalin and shit, and just like concentrated on like getting every note just perfectly lined up.
While this crazy music's going, I guess this is a good time to ask this. Are you a top 40 guy?
Top 40 guy? Do I have a top 40 like bands?
No, I mean like, do you listen to like the United States top 40? What they tell you the best songs in the nation are?
No.
Okay.
No.
What do you think of the current state of rock?
It honestly seems like rock's dying. Like in society, like what people look for in music. Like generally.
So do you feel so? With you saying dying, would you know that means that
it seems like less and less people appreciate it. No one listens to it.
Alive.
Like the younger, like the generation,
dead.
like 2 generations like below us, they don't listen to rock music.
So it's not dead; it's still alive.
It is alive, but
it's
like
dying.
it seems like it's not publicly known, and it's not appreciated like as much as it should be. Like there's way more. There's people getting paid millions just to create like insanely
like
stupid music.
Do you feel like there's an imbalance in rock and roll?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean like, what do you feel like the roots of rock and roll? Like if rock and roll had like a center line and music moved in a serpentine pattern and rock had the center line, like what would be the catalyst to that center line? I watched this documentary.
It was like 2000, dude.
Hang on, bro. I watched this documentary like.
It was like the year 2000 hit, and then like it was like hip hop and techno and rap and shit.
So I watched this documentary one time about like the they broke down rock and roll and heavy metal into like a family tree. Right. And the catalyst was pretty much agreed upon was the catalyst to heavy metal was Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah. That was like the center line of that heavy metal rock. And also, what's the other band? Who sings You Really Got? Who wrote You Really Got Me? I want to say The Knack, but I don't think that was it.
Van Halen?
No, the original band.
Yeah, I don't know who did that.
The Kinks. So that was kind of like that. This was the catalyst to what we're listening to right now.
My social security number is 8.
Well, fuck this shit. That's gonna get us copyright.
And rumor has it that like he ended up, which is right. So the rumor has it that he developed that tone. One night he came home like drunk from like clubbing or whatnot or a gig, and he stabbed his amp and like pierced the cone a bunch of times with like a knife or a screwdriver or something, and then went to bed, woke up, was like, ah shit, what the hell did I do? Plugged in, and his amp went from clean to and it like he developed that like tone and that style, and so from that point on we have, you know, rock and roll. I listen to the shit out to Michael Fay. This is Where the Wind Blows. This is one of my favorite. It's like Johnny Cash style song.
Yeah, totally.
So, back to, you know, the balance of rock and roll. feel like we are sitting like if there's any kind of rock? Do you feel like there's like we're not close to the center line, or we are? Not us personally, but
I feel like once people start, there's a little bit of a thing happening with I see with like younger people where it seems like they think that they need to listen to a type of music that's not enjoyable to listen to. It just seems like they're listening to this garbage that like it's just like this party music and that's all they listen to, and it just doesn't seem like it has any meaning to it except to party.
you like melody?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it just seems like these people listen to this music that's just like fucking bland and terrible, and it's just like, God, can you help these people? They think this is good and they try to make it, and they think, oh dude, you want to listen to this? Like, no, I don't want to listen to that. Sorry, I have not heard that song either. I don't know that band. I like that. It's like all the time with me, like people I meet, like have you heard this band? Like, no, dude, this band sucks too. Like they'll show me this like new band that sounds like some just bullshit like poppy nonsense, and it's just, I don't know why people are so hypnotized by it.
Yeah, I don't like the trendy stuff.
It's I don't know how to explain it, dude. It's just not even creative.
I like
It just all sounds the same. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It all sounds like
I've always been
the same singing, and like they're all trying to sound like each other. Like everybody's all trying to sound the same. It's like
trendy.
just trendy sound, and it's like, why is that a trend? It's like people are like musically like
People like the easy way.
hypnotized by
They see
weird
things that
shit.
are popular. They see things that are out there. They see like, oh, this will gather me attention, and then they attach to it real quick because they want to take the easy way, versus
Yeah.
like making their own road.
And it
that
doesn't
goes
even.
to,
It's too easy to make that kind of music too.
and that goes to the same like sentiment as the difference between people that are self-employed and the difference between people that are 9-to-5ers. You know, and it's just like most people, and especially nowadays, I'm not gonna get into politics, but you know what side you are. The people that, you know, want handouts and don't want to pave their own way, and they want to condemn to everybody that. It's like, you know, you forget who employs you. You know, like there's people that are business people and there's people that work for the business. And until you are going to rise and become the business owner, which most of those type of people do not have that backbone, that spirit. There's the same type of people that can't self-promote. And some people just don't want to. And why condemn the people that do? Well, let's away from that, and let's get back to this. Do you feel like you're writing music or being a part of music that has helped rebalancing rock and roll and bringing it back to an originality and center point of kind of where it belongs? Back to, I guess, in history, they say the very center point. I think I was mistaken.
This is
when I
something to
said-
think about.
I said I was mistaken with Black Sabbath. The center point of rock and roll is the old rock and roll history legend of Robert Johnson selling his soul at the crossroads. That's the beginning of rock and roll. So, do you feel like you're rebalancing it and bringing it back to where that crossroads?
Somewhat
met,
when I feel like people
you're
hear
back
us
on that-
play,
and back on that
they
road?
are like, what the fuck, man? Like, that is some sound I haven't heard before, and that it's exciting. And I feel like something people need to get a taste of, at least. It's more of a natural, to me, it's more natural sounding. It's natural sounding music. When I hear just like, you know, effortless, it's not hard work, you know what I mean?
Where's Brody?
I like turned off my mic for that second.
So back to the question about rebalancing and bring it back to a center point.
Right. So I think, yeah, when people hear our music, at least, they feel pretty. They have like a new rock feeling. Like it's definitely like not something that.
Are you striving to like try and push it further right or further left, or are you trying to bring it to that like that truth?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it to like that truth level where people like start to realize what real music sounds like. Do you want to
offend your audience?
I don't want to offend my audience. I want them to see, like.
You want to connect with them?
I do. I want them to, appreciate the efforts of musicians altogether anyway. Like, I feel like people don't do that nowadays. Like, they don't know, like, how much hard work we put into being creative. And it's exhausting mentally to try and come up with... It is, honestly, like, to try and come up with things to write, or if you're just like, God, what do I write? But, like, a lot of the time, like the real good music is the stuff that comes naturally,
like,
where
do
you
you
just,
even begin, right?
Yeah, you don't just, like, start.
How do you usually...
It comes from something that's happened to you.
Where do you usually begin when you're writing music? Do you have a process?
It comes from usually being pretty damn emotional.
And then you're just like, I need to write something.
Yeah, and if I had a drink, it really helps too. I'll start playing right away.
Loosen up.
Yeah, no, that's something that I guess helps me like kind of get in the swing of like playing some really good music sometimes. I'll get into my emotions and start focusing on what I'm feeling, and I'll play what I'm feeling through the notes, and then I'll sing to it.
How would you describe your band?
I guess I'd describe my band as probably the most unique group of weirdos I've ever seen. There's definitely not very many bands I've seen like us out there.
No.
At least. Like,
there's nobody locally that sounds like us at all.
No. And definitely usually not this good sounding either. And it's hard to find bands that are good to play with when we're doing shows. Like a lot of the time when we're playing shows with people, not to be a dick, but I'm not too impressed because I'm not into those kind of music styles usually. A lot of the time punk stuff isn't something I think sounds great when you're seeing it live at a bar.
It's usually loud and doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it's usually like too loud and my ears are ringing and I'm just like, at that point I just want to eat some food and enjoy the night and I'm just exhausted.
Not to make us sound cocky, like, sort of 3 gigs ago we got fucking laughed at.
Yeah, no, seriously. It happens to all of us.
We've had our shit nights.
Everybody has shit nights and at that point people just stop caring, but when you stop caring though, it's I remember we didn't care one night and it just sounded like shit.
Speak about not caring. This weekend over like our gig at Mirkwood. It was a blast, dude. Like we were like,
yeah, it was a blast, but
we were like,
it wasn't like we sounded phenomenal, but it was just like a hey, we're here kind of show.
The fun vibe just like caked to the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. All right, dude. So if you could be president or an astronaut, what would you be and why?
See, like, I think I might
And do you think you could live up to the role? Because I mean, each role is.
Yeah, each role is really crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Life or
being an
death.
astronaut, like takes a lot of initial requirement as well, and I think I'm not really capable of putting that on. And same with a president, I wouldn't get the initial requirements ever to become a president, but I think I would probably make the right decisions for the country. But I also feel like if I became president, I would be taken advantage of, but also every president is taken advantage of. So, neither.
Neither.
I wouldn't be able to be either in my lifetime, I know that.
Do you think you could handle the emotional solitude of doing like a 2-year trip by yourself to Mars?
A 2-year trip? As long as I could make it back, I would do it.
You know, I mean, like.
But as long as I could, if I was given the chance to survive a trip to Mars and make it back without dying, I would do it.
14 months or something like
But
that.
no one's been able to make it back from Mars.
No
Have
one's
they?
no one's ever gone.
Never known. Are you sure they haven't sent
No human-
people to Mars?
No, well, at least not documented.
Yeah, not documented.
I'm sure a few monkeys have been sent.
It'd be nuts if like something survived on Mars, but you know, there would
That's
be
where
no
Tupac
way
and
we'd be
Michael
able to get
Jackson
back,
and
right?
Elvis. They all sent him to Mars.
It would take us a couple years to get there or something, right?
I think it's like 14 months. That's why I said 2 years.
And then like when you get back, it would be even slower.
No, it's not. You're not dealing with wormhole time portal shit.
No. What I mean is like you wouldn't be able to launch yourself back off faster.
Well, I think you'd eventually be able to build your speed in space, like with rockets and through like thrust. And
I guess because like if you just give yourself
You just
more
gotta- you
speed,
just
it just makes you even faster in space,
you
right?
just need enough to get off. And then
It's
once
crazy
you're
how
off,
space is. Like
and then
space,
it's like-
there's no gravity, so like,
yeah, all you need is in a second.
like what? Could you push a planet? That'd be nuts, dude. You couldn't push a planet.
No, because you'd end up on
It would have to be something that was bigger and weighed more, but it would be able to. See, if something crashed into Earth, we would die. Like everything would explode. Like everything that's like it would weigh. It would just be like. It is crazy because things that are like bigger are really are more powerful because of how big they are.
Well, it's crazy,
but we're
they
so
say-
small, and but even this this could knock over this
Dude,
bottle
one time-
here
Dude, one
just
time
because
I
of how
saw.
much more it weighs.
I saw on, like, I want to say Discovery, but it could have been. It's probably Discovery, not History. And it was like the moon documentary, and like the origin of the moon. And they were talking about like how the moon like drifts. I want to say 4 meters or 4 feet, something like that. So anywhere from between like 4 and 12 feet a year. It's pulling away. Well, the moon is what keeps us balanced and orbiting. And the moment we don't have the moon, we will start to like roll in chaos, and we will lose the North and South Pole. The moment we roll in chaos, that means we will have like weather change like daily. Like one day, like Washington will be in the Bahamas, the next day it'll be in fucking Alaska, then we'll be in Antarctica. Like it'll just
Like, dude,
you
like
have
already
world-
it starts feeling weird, like,
You
because
will have,
lately
like,
we've been
world-
having the strangest weather.
you'll have world chaos. And so they say like eventually. But what else do they say? That the sun's gonna grow and expand and gobble us up.
Mm-mm.
So, big deal. You know, you can't. We can't.
I don't think
Hopefully-
that could happen, really.
Well, it's and they've proven evidence, and so either faith will make it not happen.
I think a lot of
and
evidence
if
is
not-
fake.
Well, and if not that, you know, faith will give us the opportunity to find and build our own planet. You know, I mean, considering the fact that if you really look at it, I've never said this before in my life. I've never thought this till now, but you know, God created man in His own image is the quote. Does that mean that we can build our own world in 7 days?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
I don't know. Before I want to die, I just want to do something with music, I guess.
Can man get to the point where we can create everything? And not to play, but to engage exactly what, God intended for us. Sometimes they say like, oh, if you start cloning humans, you're playing God. And it's like, well, maybe this is, it's not playing, but it's being able to create life. Maybe that was his intention. Last question. What was your first childhood memory?
I think my first childhood memory ever is actually being born.
I've heard that. I don't remember that, but I've heard that.
It's weird because when people ask me that, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I do remember. I remember actually being born. So it's pretty fucking weird because, yeah, I do remember it, and I opened my eyes and I remember seeing what was happening, and I remember that I was hooked up to this machine that I was breathing into, and I had to do it because I guess I had some sort of like I guess I was prematurely born or something, so I had to be hooked up to this machine to breathe. And I met other people that have had to do that, but they didn't remember it like I did. I remember looking at this machine, seeing this thing inflating and deflating. It was like there was this thing, and there was like this little window into this machine that was next to me. And then there was like this little mask hooked up to my mouth.
I bet it's because you were in like a life or death state. That like
Yeah.
You had that little tiny age.
I was totally like.
You became conscious.
Yeah, dude, I was like breathing in and out like deeply. I was super lightheaded. I remember the whole thing, dude. It was so fucked up. And I just like, that was being born, dude. I came into this world like fucking dying. Like that's fucked, right? Like that was my first memory ever, is just being born.
Well, they say that
And just being totally conscious and like recognizing what was going on. I don't know how I did it, dude. I just knew what was happening. I like asked my mom about it years later, and she's like, yeah, that did happen.
I'm summarizing.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm about to summarize some stuff I saw on TV one time, and it was about like, I don't know if it was about Buddhism or like a Himalayan culture belief, but they were talking about like about reincarnation.
I watched some of those reincarnation
Documentaries.
It's
Yeah,
so
and
creepy.
So they were saying like how consciousness began before you even were conceived.
Right.
And how
it had to live.
And I guess like, if I could be wrong. I mean, if I'm out there, leave me shit comments and tell us like we're retarded, but we're dumb Westerners. But other than that, I hope I'm right. And that like the final round of this, afterlife process before you are reincarnated was you enter this like love cave or love room, and in this love room there's multiple couples, consummating like their affection for each other, and throughout that room you're walking around spiritually and you get to choose the couple, and that couple is your mother and your father, and so you chose your path. You're not out of control. They didn't bring you here. You chose to be here. You chose them. And so at that moment, once you pick your couple, that's your mother and father, and then you are conceived, and then you are immediately, flash of light, you're born.
And you're also like a byproduct of both of them.
And yeah, exactly.
You're literally 50-50.
Well, for you, so for most people it takes them 12 to 18 months, but for you, at that moment when you chose, you instantly became conscious and you saw yourself in that breathing,
Yeah.
You know, that's unique.
It's weird. I remember seeing doctors. I remember seeing that thing inflating and deflating.
I like that story. I could be wrong, but I like that story. Because it used to be, it's almost like, you know, as a teenager, you want to grow up and be like, fuck you, you know, you brought me here, I didn't choose to be here, fuck you, mom and dad. But then if you look at another culture, they said, no, you picked them, you little asshole. Well, from that point on, we're going to wrap this
That was a good deep ass story for the night.
We're going to wrap this podcast up. You know, Julian, thanks for coming. Thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah.
This is Toast and Adventures. Shit, I don't even know what to call it yet, but this is podcast number 3. Brandon and Julian.
Rolling.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. We'll leave you with this song. This is a project. This is a track that me and Jorgen made together. Off of a Pastel EP. Pastel Gray.
I think of this one a lot. Like sometimes when I'm like driving, pops into my head, dude.
This track.
It's this little riff here. It's really nice.
We recorded 3 songs that were very similar, and then I just crossfaded them all together and made it look like one long song. It worked. I guess, it felt longer than 6 months ago. It's crazy. 2017. Shouldn't that be like a year and a half? We made so much music together. Oh, if you're still listening, check out Toast the Band on YouTube. Toast PNW.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just Toast the Band on YouTube.
What's our Instagram?
It's Toast PNW on Instagram. And yeah, we post like all our shows and stuff. It's like, you know, mostly local stuff right now.
If you're out there listening right now and like and comment on our Instagram and our Facebook, leave us a message, and the first person to do that, we will give you a free Toast the Band t-shirt autographed by all 4 of us.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Via whatever you need. FedEx, UPS, snail mail.
Yeah,
anything.
from the effort of all of us, we'll send that to you.
So make sure you're out there and like that, comment, let us know you heard us.
Peace out, guys.
Later, guys.